Hello, welcome to Aldi review videos with No Inches DIY. Here I've got the Ferrex petrol chainsaw 4-stroke, 40 centimetre bar and automatic lubrication system. Looks like a good unit. Let's open the box. Eco-friendly. It's got a bearing on the end, chain guard, warranty paperwork and instructions, a chain, handy. Alright, here's the unit itself. Got a sticker on there, caution, ship without oil, fill in the correct amount of oil, always check the oil level before starting, read instructions, manual before using. That's safe. I once knew a bloke who was using a dodgy chainsaw and it kicked back at him and it went right back and chopped him down the middle of the face. So if you've got a dodgy chainsaw, especially that this kickback guard isn't working, don't use it, not healthy. Alright, so a lot of people don't know that you've actually put your foot in there when you're pull starting it. So bad luck if you're a left-hander. Alright, so I think that the pump some fuel in. I'll have to read what type of oil I need. It's got a sticker on it warning you how loud it is, 110 decibels. You wouldn't use a chainsaw without ear protection unless you had a mental defectivity. Alright, one more thing that's included here, a little toolkit. They get the spark plug out, and that one would be for the bolts on the bar. Not sure what that custom screwdriver's for. And an Allen key-ish thing with 2 hexi type heads. Alright, I've had a little read of the instructions. As I suspected, that is the one that takes this off. Alright, probably for most Australian conditions, which is 25 degrees or higher, this says the oil type you should use is SAE 10W30, which I think is a fairly standard oil that you'd use in most things. Okay, I finally found the instructions for setup. They're on page 28. Tells me 4-stroke, does not require oil fuel mix. Okay, remove the side cover. I assume they're talking about that. Make sure the chain, brake lever, front handguard is in the pulled back into the disengaged position. Okay, that's how you do it, and then that comes off. Oh yeah, it's a pretty simple mechanism. I unbolted it, but because this was forward, it was still grabbing on here. Yeah, and that just releases this big spring to grab onto here. Takes quite a bit to pull it back. It's got a little picture here that tells you which way the chain goes. This side goes on first, around your sprocket. So when you put this on, this knob here has a screw on it, which moves the bar length in and out, so you can get the right tension on the bar. So just pop that back on. A little bit tight so they align. Alright, obviously your chain can come out like that, too loose. Now if I go like that, I can't move the chain. Too tight, obviously. So I'll turn in the unlock. It says after 5 cuts to readjust that, because your blade will find where it should be. Alright, here I am. I've got the chainsaw outside. I'm just going to make a bottle into a funnel. So this oil thing has a warning. Tell you, make sure you put it in. Not shipped with oil in it. Although this has oil in it. Must have just needed oil when it was pre-started or whatever they do in the factory. Sort of fits. In that case, a smaller bottle, but I didn't think I had any. Nice and clean, nice and dry. Alright, that's full now. And what do we use for chain oil? Good question. Let me read the answer. The instructions say here, standard chain oil. So that sounds like I'm going to have to go and look for chain oil. Alright, so the chain oil's in. Alright, fuel's in. So I'm just reading the starting procedure here. Starting when cold. It's cold, fresh out of the box. So it says activate the chain brake, which would be doing that. It also says make sure that red one is on the on. Believe that's right. Choke stick fully out until it locks. Fuel pump 3 times. It says 6 to 8 times. I'll give that a few extra. Firm flat surface, holding the chainsaw as shown. Yeah, so they do recommend putting your foot in there. It's a good way to keep it still. Pull the starter twice. Be aware of moving chain. Push the troke as far as it'll go. Should start. Let's give it a go. Yeah, that's out, that's out. Now that seems strange to do that. It says 2 times that. It's got the diagram on the back. 2 times. Press that in. Just press the choke back in. It's already back in. And then go again 4 times. Okay. So it starts. It's a good sign. Why did it stop though? That's right, that's right. Fuel in there. Let that warm up for a bit. I think there was some air in here, now there's no air in there. There we go now. Alright, it said adjust the chain after 5 cuts. And I've done 5 cuts. And it very obviously needs to be adjusted. So good advice there from reading the instructions. So I'll just back those off the tiniest bit. To tighten, you follow that lock icon and you give that a little twirl up. Now that's spinning okay. Maybe I'll just back that off a little bit. Alright, how much play does it have? A bit, not enough. Alright, that's better. No, just retighten those. Now I can go back and do some cuts. So I took the opportunity with some of my first cuts to make a Swedish log torch. And what I'm doing as I go, finding these bare patches on the soil, and I'll just cut the logs up there so I get a bit of sawdust, a bit of OM in the soil. Now I've got a pile of rubbish there that needs to be cut up. The reason I'm manhandling this off the pile there is it's quite dangerous when you're cutting to hook up a branch or something. So it's nice to have the log nice and clear. Get it up off the dirt so you don't blunten your chain cutting dirt. And we'll get back into it. All right, so there's the wood I cut up just then. That's what you can do with your $200 chainsaw. There's a procedure for shutting the chainsaw down if you're not going to use it for a while. And I've basically cut up all the wood that I had there in stock. So I'll get the instructions out and I'll follow that procedure. On page 48, it tells you what to do. If you're going to leave this for longer than 30 days, it says remove the fuel cap. Okay, so this is a good time to get a brush and brush all the sawdust off. All right, okay, let the pressure out. It says tip any unused fuel out. There's about $10 worth there. Remove the fuel from the carburetor, start the engine and let it run until the equipment stops. Leave the engine to cool for 5 minutes. All right, it doesn't say whether to have that or on or off. So I'll just start it up again. I'll just leave that to run out of fuel. If I was going to be super serious about this, I would probably take the blade off. Just to give that a proper clean. You can see the wood that I cut was fairly wet because it's been raining nearly every day here in Perth. It's probably a good idea to get all this gunk out of there. Take that off the tip. See, the chain oil really worked. This blade is very well lubricated. And this bar, it said about if you're using it for extended periods to oil this sprocket here. I only use that for about half an hour. I'd say less than half a tank of juice by the look of that. And I suppose the next lesson will be on sharpening the blade. Something I've never had to do before. I'm happy with how that went. I was able to get that pile of wood all chopped up relatively quickly. So on first assessment, quite a good product for $200.